to the mRNA translate into the polypeptide and then form the protein structure, right? So that's why sometimes it is we actually okay. Investigation why? Why we want to study the protein? We want to study when and where proteins are expressed. Okay, before we go deep into this, I want to know that there are a few uh, proteomic strategy. The first one is the very basic proteomics. Okay, and then the second one is the expressional proteomics, which is I will cover in this topic expressional because you are going to see the protein expression level. Okay, let's say for example between normal individual versus the patient, or from the cell without with the cell with the treatment. So you want to see the protein expression level. So I will cover this. I will talk a lot about this proteomics. You want to do the experiment, right? You want to test that way. You want to see certain protein that are up or down regulated in the cell. You have target already, right? What happened to the expression of that drug gives to those proteins? So you want to measure the expression level of this protein. Let's say whatever enzyme you like kinase protein. When you take the drug, what happened to the kinase protein? Is it the expression level up or down regulated? So when and where? Okay, when and where? And then rate of protein production, degradation, steady state abundance. How proteins are modified? Because you know that after the protein, the mRNA translated into polypeptide and from the protein structure, the protein will go through the post-modification translation. Right. Because each of the protein with different and we have different function. Right. Okay, this is go back to your SC, okay? Okay, and then we will study the PTM. The PTM such as some modifications such as oxidation, what else? Phosphorylation, what else? Acetylation, okay? In DNA modification, proteins, a lot of acetylation occur. Okay? And then methylation, second, the movement of protein between subcellular compartment. You want to see the movement. Protein from cytosol protein, which protein go to the membrane protein, I mean the surface membrane protein. So you can study that also, localization. Okay, the involvement of protein in the metabolic pathway. Okay. And how imagine your Marty talked just now or mass spectrometry just now is analytical balance, and then your gas phase ion is your model. So in analytical balance, it will give us the unit G, but in mass spec, it will give you the gas phase ion in unit and power. So I will touch in more detail after this. Okay, the second one is differential gel electrophoresis touch. Okay, this gel separated technique is high throughput and generate huge amount of data. And then it actually both of the technologies actually incorporate with the databases, because the databases here help to gather, to store the data, and do the analysis for us. Because with the raw data, we cannot actually identify the protein, or we can, measure, quantitate the protein. But with the help of database or algorithm use, actually we can finally like I know. Diagnostic like church, like walking diagnostic right to yeah. Yeah, yeah. Same stratification. Hi.
Dia lipat in equation of structure. Function, I guess, right of the same.
What happened? Okay, we start this transcription. What the structure of the genes, I mean the genome of current, it has what?
Exon.
Exon. So it has like, you need to what first, so that only that protein is translated.
Splice.
Yes, because the splicing. That's why we have many isoforms. When many isoforms, actually it originates from one gene. But because of the splicing and because of the PTM, the protein become, the function of the protein is quite different. Some of the protein, if you have this gene, let's say it will slowing the drug rate. But if let's say you have this kind of gene, let's say your drug rate will be just normal. But if you have these genes, I mean this combination, your drug rate will be higher, something like that. Okay. So that's why you have different. Some modification is important, especially the PTM, especially in cancer research. Okay. For example, here is apolipoprotein E4 isoform, which can be separated from isoform by IVF, is predictive biomarker for the risk of Alzheimer's disease in homozygote, but not in the case of heterozygote. This one is the phenotype, right? We have homozygote and also heterozygote, but the isoform is only found in the homozygote. Okay? So at least you know original and non-red.
Yeah.
So what else you can think about the protein biomarker? So actually it has primary and secondary biomarker. Okay, primary biomarkers are protein whose expression level, modification status, class variant, or other isoform are thought to be possible for phenotype under investigation. For example, CTFR protein in cystic fibrosis patient. Actually, it's related to the disease itself. Okay, the presence of this biomarker is directly related to the disease. Okay, but the secondary biomarker those arise as a consequence of a disease but are not thought to be primary trigger for the disease pathogenesis. For example, CA125 for ovarian cancer. Okay, so you have to differentiate between the primary and the secondary. One is actually trigger disease, or another one is not triggering disease, primary biomarker. Okay, but actually it's related to the disease but not triggering the pathogenesis for the secondary biomarker. Okay, now why we choose proteomics to study the sample, our biological sample. Okay, and people in proteomics always say that their technology is better than genomics and transcriptomics and metabolics. But for me, we are actually depend on each other. So, but why? The question here, why we sometimes the sample is suitable for proteomics but not suitable for genomics and transcriptomics? Okay, because the protein nature itself, because it is soluble, and when it's soluble, it is suitable for various types of technologies, proteomics. Okay, and then there is a case where cells that produce protein in body fluid are either not found in fluid, such as urine, and some distant away from where the fluid are usually sampled. For example, TSF. So sometimes we can study the RNA from the urine, but we can study the protein that is excreted inside the urine. Because in urine, the cell that's excreted are not so many as in our tissue cell and all that, right? But sometimes we want to, to see what are proteins that are inside the urine. Okay? And somehow, in a CSF, sometimes it's a very difficult to take. So, a method like genomic and transcriptomic are not suitable for CSF. Okay? And then protein in some body fluids such as serum and plasma originate from the cells that are present in the multiple tissue. Okay, this is also make the proteomics actually suitable to study the body fluid. Actually, you can see serum and plasma, when we do proteomics, they are overlap. Some of the proteins are overlapped with each other. So actually, plasma, actually the subproteome of the lab slide. So they are like proteome and then subproteome. So then some of the proteins are overlapped. Okay. So in proteomics, we can to know that this one is originated from which cell. So we can overlap the protein in serum and plasma of blood itself. Okay? So this is, maybe you can guess what are the application of the protein biomarker here. Right. Yeah. This is COVID antigen antigen rapid detection where they use the some of the recombinant MS1 protein.
Yep.
And then CA125 for screening of ovarian cancer. But later on in the chapter 4, 5, and 6, you will learn the platform that used to develop the diagnostic. Okay. Okay. So now I would like to have a break one, another part.
Yep.
Maybe more more intense.
但它就业就在电影上。对啊，可是我们要有那个自己的 presentation，就是那个临床的是我们自己去学，然后我们做一个 presentation，这是什么时间水？一月没说，他会说一月不，是另外再找一天啊。所以一个作业做完了吗？不要岔开话题。我上班都跟你说的，不是吗？是吧？是吧？不是是吧？是吧？是，好的。我还记得那些，然后。
啊，所以他那个网站里有例子吗？我就知道。因为我看过那个网站，但是发现都是什么玩意儿，是吧？
有例子我就不会找你做了。
按着你的头唇。哦哦，这是。Important. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I know.
Why?
Huh?
Why? Why this question?
不是才日那样。
迈阿密，
说我在哪可以接到之前？
在迈阿密是吗？
所以为什么我当时要选这个？是你选的吗？不是因为我们之前那个 PB 演了的那个记得吗？哦，是我们那个 Free 跟 Clinical 的那个，所以我当时选的是这个，后面会有这个。
唉，摆了好几天了，突然让我学习。嗯。哦，这是可能的意思。所以因为发现你没有改一个呢。
你是问你什么时候给我？看到我就没有想起来，看到你我就想。像那个老师在追功课的样子。对。好。你的这是这样。然后这是这样。I like to play computer games. 这个 computer 这个应该在网上有什么？I like to play computer games. 多少岁？
不要紧张。
This is the one. Are you feeling sleepy? It's okay. Okay. Maybe we should have a coffee maker over there.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we have 3 hours straight. We need to have coffee. Okay. Okay. Mr. Joe. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Going back to the example. You can say you are not so your biomarker is
No,
the biomarker is using TTP. But now you are looking for targeted one, you can customate your own columns. If you know the antibody that bind to your protein, you can dispatch to your protein to your column, put it with the antibody, and after that you link up your protein. That one also can. Illusion. So just think about that. Okay, what is your protein? But commonly, if you get your sample, what you need to do is you need to break it. So to break it, you need to think of either using mechanical, chemical, either chemical or mechanical. One using the physical one, granular motor and pestle, or whatever. Using solution also can, using the other one, using PDP also can. So the one mechanical, the second one is chemical, using lysis marker, containing urea, chats, to sterilize your tissue or sample. Okay. And then the second one is fractionation. Fractionation meaning that the second one I explained to you about depletion. You want to remove all the high abundant protein, just leave it the low abundant protein, because you are looking in the low abundance protein. Okay. And separation, protein separation. Of course, you know about the SDF stage. SDF stage stands for what? Yeah. The one is we use the electrophoresis to separate the protein based on what property size.
Sometimes
Yeah. Separation. So that one is only one dimension electrophoresis. But in proteomics, we are more advanced. We use 2-dimensional electrophoresis. So later on, I will explain more about PDB. Okay. And then finally, once you get your protein that are interest from the 2D, you can proceed to protein identification by mass spectrometry. Okay. Okay, for Muslim, are you going to pray for Maghrib or Maghrib? Okay, human diseases. So as I said, our sample is from in human we have saliva, blood, serum, plasma, CSF, etc. From our human body. All protein can be extracted, yeah, from our body. Okay, and then relationship, as I said, plasma and other body fluid. Let's say we try to overlay lip and CFS proteome. They are actually sub-proteome plasma, sub-proteome like this. Okay, I will draw the Venn diagram. Okay, you see the plasma, and then this is the CSF.
Doctor, can you use the black one? Thank you.
Okay, this is plasma. This is your CSF. And another one is lymph. Lymph fluid. So some of them is overlap here, and then overlap here, and then overlap here. So this is called the sum of the CSF protein are sub-proteome of the plasma. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and other body fluids such as urine and serum represent plasma at a certain extent while having unique characteristic of their own. Okay, now you have, when we collect a human sample, we need to understand that sometimes we need to follow certain standard of operational procedures to store the sample. Okay, so now Human Proteome Organization has already actually provide us the guideline how to store, especially the plasma sample for proteome study. Okay, we need to add like protease inhibitor cocktail directly to the plasma collection, and then centrifuge the blood within 1 hour, and then stack freeze, and then electrode immediately in a dry ice or bath, and then keep in -70. Okay, and then we also have to think about whether we want to add in the anticoagulant or not to our lab, because it depends on our main or goal of the proteome study. Some of the proteome study, they don't want the anticoagulant, they want to see the whole blood. But some of them, they just want to, let's say, want to study the what equal the serum or not the other part, so they can do anticoagulant. It depends on the main goal of the experiment. And then we have also to think about the use of tip, brand of tube that used to collect the sample. So important where we must choose a very good quality of tube where it won't degrade any protein. Because once protein degrade, our sample is not suitable for protein analysis already. Because one degrade, we run the gel, the space, you can see the smearing, not the intact kind. So the indicator whether our protein is good or not is when we extract the protein, we run a space gel in 1D. Let's say we have like very fine gel band. But if let's say you have smearing band, the smearing meaning that not integrate band one, you can use this for your injection for mass spectral analysis. So it indicates bad quality of protein, so you better stop it. But if you get that kind of protein extract from mass student, I say throw out your protein extract, do it again until you hit a very with the organization. Okay? Just like Hanin just show me just now the extraction of A, I said to her, please run above here. I want to see RNA in that band into line. If you didn't get to band, don't proceed to forward to CD. It's just like that. It's just that same goes to the protein. If let's say you run, you didn't get the protein back, forget about it. Okay, you won't get any good hit in effect if you proceed. Okay? So this is important about the sample preparation. And then, as I said, this is a pre-presentation about the high abundant protein. In this case of polyfeed, it consisted of high abundant protein, which is pretty effective analysis of abundance protein. Okay, in proteomics, it's necessary to reduce the dynamic range of protein abundance to treat down low abundant protein for analysis. You know, in our serum, what is the magnitude of the one protein to another protein? The low to high abundance is the range. The concentration is so big, from million to the small one is only maybe 1 nanogram, 1 picogram per micron, like that. It's very low. So your interest, your biomarker, the protein that you want to study sometimes in the low abundant one. So if let's say you want to study, you just proceed all the protein, of course you will get the high abundant protein appear in your spec, right? Even in your SCS stage. So you won't see the low abundant one. So that's why here we will deplete the high abundant protein in the serum, let's say, such as albumin, IgG, heptoglobin. So this is considered as a high abundant protein. So that when we run gel, we can see the low abundant protein. So we will use, we say that this is the yin approach. Okay? And the second one, we want to increase the relative copy number of low abundant protein. Yeah, of course, this one is actually before that we use the column to enrich, to capture those protein which is low abundant, where the resin is coated with certain antibody that recognize the antigen or protein that we want to target. Okay? So remember yin and yang approach. Okay, now we go to the separation. Okay, one-dimensional electrophoresis, two-dimensional electrophoresis, two differential gel electrophoresis, okay, 1D you know already, the protein is separated by side by molecular weight. But in 2D, what I can do is, we separate the protein in the IPG strip. Is free according to its isoelectric point. So what is isoelectric point?
The charge that protein carry.
That is protein carry. So
you have different negativity or positivity towards the. So based on its charge, so we can the degree of the charge.
So actually, we apply the charge to the protein, and then protein will move and then stop where it reach the zwitter ion. So each of the protein has their own zwitter ion. The zero step, they will stop there. I say some of the protein will stop at 2, some of them 3, 4, 5, until it depends on the range of isoelectric strip that you are using. So you can use 4 to 7 pH. You can use 3 to 10 pH. You can use also 5 to 6. Depends on your protein tolerance. So it will actually, first dimensional electrophoresis, the protein will be separated according to their isoelectric point all the time. So it will have different pH. So when you stain the strip, you will see protein band also. Not dot yet. Protein band. Okay, once After that, you will proceed to second dimensional electrophoresis. Okay, you will take your string and then flip it into 370 and then put it in the SES page, electrophoresis system, and then electric will push down all the protein from the IPT strip into STS page. Okay? And then it will be separated through the side. So the first dimension is PI.
IP.
PI.
PI.
We call it as a PI. The second one is based on the molecular weight of size. So towards the end, when we say the gel, what we have is a protein spot instead of protein band. Okay? So I will show you this one. Like this. Okay? You see, you need to rotate to 90. This is your IPF. Right. And then you will run using isoelectric focusing instrument. And then after that, you rotate to 90 degrees. And then you push the protein from the IPT strip into the paste gel. After that, you can stain with the composite blue stain or silver stain. And the result that you will get is a protein spots like this. Okay? With the composite blue, you will see the blue spot. But with the silver stain, you will see like grayish brown spot. Okay? Silver staining, exactly. So this is kind of gel that you will obtain from conventional PE. Okay? So now, okay, for the second one is without the gel. Okay? Separation without the gel, we use HPLC or liquid chromatography, non-gel based. Okay, chromatography is a technique that is for separating component of mixture by allowing the sulfur analyte to display between stationary and mobile phases. Okay, so we look at this picture first. Like this. Okay. So this is the pump. This one is to separate. You can separate your protein or peptide also. Call it as a liquid chromatography. So it has a pump, high pressure pump. Three column actually to trap your peptide here, or protein here. And then after that it will actually direct the peptide to the analytical column. In the analytical column, okay, there will be a mixture of organic phase buffer with the acid will be different. This one we call it as a mobile phase here. So from here, at certain level, because the polarity of each peptide are different, so some of them are prone to be irritated at the higher, let's say 100% acetyl trial. But some of them lower and lower percentage of organic solvent. So that's why it will be based on the polarity. The protein peptide will be irritated based on its polarity depends on the percentage of the organic solvent. This is what you call as a mobile. Stationary phase from the analytical column. Okay. After that, we collect those peptides and then we go for mass spectrometry. Okay. So actually, I have a video for this. Yeah, I can share with you lah in e-learn. Okay, later. Okay. So, but over here you should understand that pump, vacuum pump, that push your protein and peptide into the column, trapped into the column. But the important part is the analytical column, where the separation of the peptide or protein happen in, based on the gradient of the organic phase, which is ACN. In this case, for proteomic, we use acetonitride. Okay, in the stationary phase. So we go to mass spectrometry. So for currently, researchers use tandem mass spectrometry. It's not MS. Tandem mass meaning MS/MS. So why? I will tell you later, okay? Okay, as I said, mass spectrometry measures ion gas phase in mass to charge ratio M/C. So when mass spec, the unit of the gas phase ion is M/C. Okay? Okay, in proteomic, mass spectrometry is used for protein identification. Okay, there are several formats of this technology. First one is multi-top, and then quadrupole, and then electrospray, ESI. Okay, there are two ionization techniques that allow production of gas phase ion for protein or peptide, either from liquid phase electrospray ionization ESI or from the solid phase matrix laser desorption ionization MADI. Okay. Okay, this is the diagram of tandem mass spectrometry. MS. Currently we don't use MS anymore, but we are more advanced here. MS and above. MSE, power of E right now. So MS. So, but at least we know about MS/MS, okay? So now you have your peptide. Usually for, I will talk about bottom-up proteomics approach, where we extract the protein and then we digest the protein into peptides. Okay, after that we will inject into tandem mass spectrometry, and then after that we do the database search for protein identification. So this is we call it as a bottom-up proteomics. Bottom-up meaning that the base is the protein, and then we cut. We digest meaning that we cut the protein into the small pieces. Trypsin, using trypsin will cut the amino acid valid arginine and lysine. When it see the value and the arginine, it will cut. So once you get the peptide, okay, then you inject this peptide into the mass spec. Okay, now you actually it's like a puzzle now, from big to become small, and then the mass actually analyzer will analyze this peptide and give you the mass to charge ratio and the MC of each of the peptide. And then from that, we have to analyze the raw spectrum to the theoretical spectrum in the database, so they match each other. So from that, you get the protein identification. So this is the bottom-up proteomics approach. Okay. So for tandem mass spectrometry, you have your peptide here, and then when you insert your peptide into your tandem mass, as I said, there are two kinds of ionization methods are available. The first one is electron spray ionization method, ESI, and matrix laser desorption ionization, MALDI. Okay, these are two types of common ionization in tandem spectrum. So in this case, EI is seldomly used, but most of lab using ESI and multis. So once ionized, the peptide will be charged to the peptide just now, and then the peptide will be separated. Okay, will be separated and it become precursor ion in MS1. Okay, what's happened? We actually put some parameter to the machine so that only these masses can go through the condition in that CIDs, condition induced association. So and then some of the precursor ion will be selected and then collect in CID, condition induced association. So what happened here in CID, the ion that are selected connect each other, they accident each other, and they will be break off. They become a smaller ion. So when they become a smaller ion, we call it as a fragmentation. This process is called a fragmentation in the condition induced association, CFD. So photon surface is not very familiar with proteomics. We always use collision or CID, collision induced association, for the fragmentation. So now the ion becomes smaller, and again it's separated by the mass analyzer, and this separated ion called as a product ion or MS. Okay, now in the second MS, the mass analyzer again, it will go to the detector, and the detector will actually capture the mass of the MS. So they will record this precursor ion in retention versus time. Okay, so you can have the mass spectrum over here. In retention, what we get here is only a mass spectrum, something like this. Something like this. Ion, what about why ion? Once we get this, we don't know. We don't know which protein, right? But we only got this. Detector only give us this. So how come what is the protein? We don't know. Right. So we continue other part. This is called the ion stage. Okay, understand or not this one? What are the important features in the tandem spectrometry? Ionization, there are two, which are most important. Which one? ESI, and then it will actually ionize, and then you got the precursor ion, right? One, and then what happened to the precursor ion? Just now? Fragmented in CID, condition in this associated chamber, fragmented into smaller ion, name MS, or product ion, before it will be detected by the detector in the, and then you got this result as a mass spectrum. Okay, want to remember this? Remember this very well. Okay, this one for protein identification, and also some of them use also for protein quantitation as well. Okay, okay. Understand?
Yep.
Very understand? Okay. Okay, this is LC, ESI, MSMS. Usually ESI will couple with liquid chromatography. Liquid chromatography is the separation. But before this, we learn about the some of them we use dimensional references to break the protein, right? And then we use also the liquid chromatography to separate the peptide. So for LC, ESI, MSMS, we have liquid chromatography here to separate the peptide. And then we have the mass spectrometry component here, okay, where it coupled to ESI for the ionization, and also the fragmentation, as I said, PID. And of course, you have MSNS here, and then finally you obtain the mass spectra of the samples. Okay? This is the component of LC, ESI, MSNS. Okay? So now, this one, MADI. MADI is quite different. Okay? MADI is not liquid. So you need to, okay, that is, you need to mix first your peptides with your matrix. Matrix would be any like alpha cyanometric. And then after that you need to drop on the matrix. So using during the particle you will do the plating, the spotting on the matrix. So you will have experience of prepare the plane out there during the practical. So, but I want to touch on the principle here where there is no liquid in this multi. What? We have laser inside the multi instrument, and the laser actually will format. So instead of making any peptide, now the method will transfer the ion to the your peptide, and then your peptide now become ionized to the transfer of the ion from the matrix to the peptide. So after that, again, it will be, of course, ionized, and then become the registered ion. And then fragmented also say it use collision-induced association, is fragmented this precursor ion to the product ion in the NS2, and then again after that it will be in this case the mass analyzer is time of flight, 3 times, meaning that MS, MS, time of flight. So it will measure time when the ion will be sent to the detector. Okay, who detect first will be the lightest, right? Yeah, and then who come after that is the heaviest one. Okay, so like that. Okay, understand?
But also this is has to do something with the charge.
Yeah, this is all about the charge.
Yeah, but if we come detected first, it means also that the protein carry charge.
Actually, we cannot say that at this moment until we get the spectra, and then we do database search. Because without database search, we cannot actually rectify whether we get our protein or not. What we have now is only raw mass spectra. Yeah, like this. Okay,
once only, right? Why is it twice time?
no. It's 2 times like that. 2 times happen like that. The first time, yeah, it comes to the detector for the MS1. But after that, it's like this.
Oh, that.
Long run. The detector here is not like that. That one is positive, but this one is negative linear mode. Because it has 2 phases, the positive linear mode and negative linear mode. We use the negative linear mode, so it's like this. So the detector is here, not there. But in positive, the detector is up straight like that. But this one is like MS and then MS. Alright, okay. So, but I think the most differences between the highlight difference between Maldi and Maldi or LCESM is the ionization part. Okay, and also in LC it coupled with lipid chromatography, but with Maldi it not coupled to LC, it's stand alone. Okay. As I said, it's about bottom-up approach. Peptide ion are isolated, fragmented, and analyzed to produce an SMS spectrum. Now, as I said, we need to do the database search analysis, which is protein identification. Okay, now you have the raw mass spectra already. Okay, then the experimental MS spectra are compared to theoretical MS spectra generated from protein sequence databases using search algorithm, which assigns score indicating the degree of similarity between experimental and theoretical MS spectra. Okay, now in your database section, we ask our database to create their own theoretical mass spectrometry, mass spectrum. And then from our machine here, instrument, we create our own from our own sample. So when database search, we ask we want to match the theoretical one from our database match or not with our raw mass spectrum. So that it comes out with a score. If let's say the score is significant, meaning that our protein is significantly identified. If not, it's not significant. So the score algorithm, how the database is calculated. Okay. Okay. This one protein ID. So now you have your, let's say protein again, I repeat again. The whole process, you have the protein extract, you digest with trypsin, you compact peptides. So you inject into, let's say, LC, ESM, MSMS. Okay? It was the peptide is ionized by ESL, and then collect fragmented in collision cell or CID, and then detected, you get the spectrum. Okay. Now you get this spectrum, you don't know what is this. And then you compare to the spectra into with the mass spectra available in the database search engine. And then you got the ID. Okay? That's the simple steps that how we can, do the protein identification. Okay? This step is the database search is crucial. Yeah, without this we cannot actually know the type of our protein. Okay. So there are two algorithmic scoring function. The first one is heuristic. The second one is probabilistic. Heuristic is such as quest, spectrum meal, extender. Okay, they calculate MSMS spectrum with the theoretical spectrum and calculate a score based on similarity between the two. This is just like BLAST, how they making a score. So they have from the raw spectrum from the machine, the instrument, and then they compare to those. This is our theory, right? Theory. Our theory is our from instrument. And then we match to the theory from the database search, and then we come out with the score. So this is, we call it as a heuristic algorithm. Okay, the databases is like sequence, spectrum, extender. So the other one is a probabilistic. Example, mascot. Mascot metric by sign. To some extent, the peptide fragmentation process, such as it has a pattern here, ladder of sequence ion, and calculate the probability that particular peptide sequence produce the observed sequence by a chance. Okay. Okay, this is something from probabilistic from mascot result. So you're gonna see the ladder like this. Okay. So actually using mascot is more accurate. We can have in the theoretical database they already have spectrum. They already predict for us the ladder and Y and B ion. Because when we do ionization from peptide, we always get Y and B ion. So after that, we match this one, our from the instrument to this one, and then they can identify the peptide. This peptide belong to which protein? Okay, based on this probable sequence. Okay, they make it as a Y and B ion ladder. Okay. Okay, so important consideration when we are doing the database search is mass tolerance, which dependent on the instrument and calibration. Mass tolerance, you want to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depends on the model of instrument. And then search strategy, whether you are using tripsy or you just partially digest it, you don't fully digest it, you just semi-quickly, okay? And then choosing a protein sequence database, you want to use GISPROT, or maybe you study the specific species. Let's say you study the mycobacterial tuberculosis, you want just go to MTB database and then download all the protein sequence. So because you know the species that you are working on, and if you are using human, go to human database and then download all the human protein database. Okay. And then choosing search engine is also important because it gives higher sensitivity and specificity. So as I said, some of the researchers prefer to use mascot, right? It's more specific. Okay. Okay. You want to take a break? Or you want to continue with everything?
I think we just continue.
But wait, the analyzing part is doesn't come together with instruments. We have to keep it separate.
It comes with the software.
Yes. The instrument software.
It comes with the software, yes. Database engine software, such as Protein Discoverer, Proteomol, and then we have also Peloton from website. They come together. If we buy the CMSMS, we usually got the database search engine. Okay. Can I just already master mass spectrometry? I think now we go to differential protein expression database. Okay, before we go to this, I want to give you an overview that the proteomic approach actually we have two categories. The first one is gel-based proteomic approach. The second one is gel-free proteomic approach. Okay, gel-based proteomic approach usually we will run, of course, separate protein by gel by two-dimensional electrophoresis. And then after that we do the image analysis, and then we do spot digestion and do the mass spectrometry analysis. While in gel-free analysis, we don't have to run gel. We extract the protein from the cells or whatever sample you have. After that, you go for in-solution digestion. Just add fixing to the mass spec and then put it overnight. After that, we just inject into LC and EXI and SMS to obtain the results. Okay? So now we go to the first one, gel-based proteomic approach. Okay? Okay, there are two kinds. Actually, the 2D page is actually the conventional page. 2D 2DE, but they evolve and then it become two-dimensional, the differential gel electrophoresis. If the differences here, okay, and you look at here, okay, you have sample A and sample B. Sample A is the control. For we zoom into the conventional two first. Okay, you have one protein extract from your control, one from your disease setting. You need to run the sample separately. One gel for your control, one gel for your disease. After that, you have to stage both. And then you need to analyze your image, your gel one by one. Okay, let's say each of the control, you need to run 3 gel for 3 replicate. Your patient, you need to run also 3 gel, another 3. So altogether, you need to analyze 6 gels. Okay? And then you need to stain one by one. So each of running, you need to do one by one lah. Okay? But for 2D dye, okay, it shortcut your staining part or your running part where you digest first, sample control and your pages sample. After digesting, you label your control with let's say sci-fi fluorescent. You tag your tag with sci-fi, and then another one with green, which is yellow, and then you have also internet standard. So after labeling with this fluorophore, and then you combine each of these group with similar amount, we put together in one tube. After that, you run two-dimensional electrophoresis. So you just run 3 gels. Okay? So you now from 6 become 3, and then this one you need to stay with the community or stay, but this one you don't have to stay anymore. After that, you just go straight into gel dot system and then do the image capture and analysis. So that's the difference now. This one pull because you label your peptide with the fluorophore. It's just like, you know, Technoprobe has a different fluorophore with sci-fi. It's the same. The different samples, different peptide from a different group can be labeled. One label. Okay. Okay. After that, you do the image analysis where you need to use the software to measure the intensity of your protein spot to know which spot are significantly upregulated or downregulated in the patient center. And after that, maybe you are interested on the protein that are regulated. Okay, you can spot picking this upregulated protein and then send for mass spectrometry identification. And then you know, then you can know what are proteins that are upregulated. Okay? Because during the image analysis also, you can know based on the intensity when you compare patient and your treatment, which of the following that are upregulated, which are downregulated based on the intensity of the food. But of course, you need to use good software such as Progenesis, PDQuest. They are specialized software that analyze the 2DE protein spots for statistical analysis. Okay? Okay, again, I will Okay, this is your control sample. This is conventional electrophoresis, yeah. So you need to run either 2D Dutch or 2DE. And then you do the image analysis. This is, I guess this is a Melanie software. Actually, you have to do capture with the gel dot first, get your temperature, and then upload into the software, and then the software will do the statistical analysis for you to identify which of the following spot are significantly upregulated and downregulated. So after that, you will do spot picking. Spot picking, either you can use just a blade, the blade, make it manually by your hand, or you can use auto spot picking if available. And then you do the in-gel digestion to digest your protein to peptide, and then go submit to MALDI-TOF or LC-MS-MS for protein identification. So actually, for 2DE, people just want to know the protein ID, so people just search for MALDI-TOF. But sometimes, because of the sensitivity of MALDI-TOF actually lower than CESM-MS, the protein cannot be identified. So that spot need to be sent to LC-MS. Okay? Okay, now gel-based versus non-gel-based. So I touched already this one, but I want you to look at this one. Okay? In non-gel-based strategy, you don't have to run gel. Obviously, you only decide. You have your protein, you digest your protein, you got peptide. You want to fraction it either using IST or FASP technique, or you can just directly inject into LC MSMS. Okay, to get your protein identification. Okay, again, this one is actually again differences between gel-based method and gel-free method. Okay. So I want you to look at here. So gel-free method, it has labeling method, which is ICAT using the radioactive label, SILAC also radioactive label, and I-track. I-track is chemical label. So actually nowadays we are using the chemical labeling lah. Okay, and then can run 1D LC-MS-MS or 2-dimensional LC-MS to get the protein identification. Okay, in gel-free, okay, we have two approaches. Okay, the first one is labeling method. Okay, permits direct comparison of two or more proteome states in the same analysis, which is label method. The second one is ion current based computation, compares the ion current of the same peptide in the different experiment, which is label-free method. Okay. 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 You remember the two dash? It's not, but this is label-free. We will actually tag our peptide with the I-tag label with different what we call it different reporter ion as well, because it has different molecular weight for the I-track, because I-track it has different, some of them are 17, some of them the I-track 16, differences in terms of the carbon, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, then after that we do the digestion, and then we label with the I-track chemical labeling with different molecular weights, and then we pull again It's just like we dash, we pull, and then we separate by liquid chromatography and mass spectrometry. So towards the end, we got two information here by I-track analysis, where we got the quantitation, the abundance of the protein plus the protein identification. So because you can see here, I-track come with 114, 115, 116, and 117. So each of the protein can have their own quantitation information there. Okay? So with the labeling, we can know the information about the abundance of the protein by the I-track reported iron plus the identification of the protein. So when you get the result, you know this protein, let's say troponin I actually labeled with 114, it is upregulated to 4, significant, something like that. Okay? So now we go to level 3. Level 3 meaning that you need to do it one by one. No labeling, no chemical labeling. Okay? So this one is easy. Okay, what you do is you get the protein extract from control and your patients. They extract and then you label. Then you not label. Then just with the tryptophan and get the peptides. And after that, you clean up and inject into LCMS. Okay. So after that, you have one from your control, that the spectrum for data analysis, and one from your patient. And then, so you do the intensity comparison between the control and your disease. You see the relative abundance between two. So you got the information of the quantitation and also the protein identification as well. So look at here. So this one is label-free quantitation and this one is a label-based quantitation. So in this case, they gave us the lung tissue to study. So which one from both of these, which one you prefer to do?
Cost A.
Why?
Cost label B, I don't need to do label.
But the sensitive will be labeling.
Yeah.
And then labeling, you don't have to run many times because you can pull all the samples together. True also. So which one? Any of you can give suggestion? Which one you prefer? Which one is you think cheaper to run?
Label free.
Label free, good. Which one is time consume to perform?
Label free.
Label free. Which one is more sensitive?
Label free.
More sensitive. Labeling. Labeling is more sensitive.
Label based. Label free.
Which one is more easy to analyze?
Label free.
Labeling. Okay. Now my question again. It depends. For me, it depends on my budget. And also, how many decades that I want to analyze. Because for level base, we can run up to only, if I'm not mistaken nowadays, one kit only allow up to 10 conditions. So 9 conditions plus one for the control, right? So 9 conditions. So we can put all 10 conditions in one kit. But more than that, we cannot do. We can't do. So that's the limitation in terms of how the experimental condition that we want to introduce for labeling. But for level 3, it's of course no limit. No limit. You can run whatever, but it will be time consuming because you need to run one by one sample by one sample. Okay, thank you. So before I end, we do some breaking, groundbreaking lah about our topic today. So what we go back to the pipeline. What you need to know to do the proteomics experiment. Sample preparation. So in sample preparation, what you consider?
Starting sample.
What starting sample?
We have serum, cell.
Type of sample. Type of sample. Okay, good. And then what also you consider as sample preparation?
Also the.
Okay. This. What else? Yes. Storage. Start also.
Cell base or tissue base.
Yes. Either you want to use mechanical,
Chemical.
Then.
Then also.
Yes. You have to consider if you want to use yin or yang approach, right? What you want to study. Okay, sample preparation. The second part will be after the sample preparation, what you need to do?
Fraction.
Fraction? Yeah, fractionation, as I said, that one petition, right?
Yeah.
Petition.
Then
And then,
separation.
Separation, what is inside separation?
Cell base and not cell base.
Gel base, what are the gel base?
1D, 2D.
Udite. Okay, what are the differences between 2D and Udite?
2D and 2D.
One chemical that obviously gives for one level. Chloroform. Okay, and then we need to put all together after the leveling. Okay. And then the other one is non-gel-base. You see, what are the main features? Chromatography?
You use ionization.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the starting phase.
Yeah, using the what color? Analytical color? To separate using what? Solvent, with different concentration, varying concentration, and the sectional phase. You have to understand, we have the vacuum pump also. So try to get some information on that to top up your knowledge. Okay. Okay, now after the separation, what's next? Identification, right? Okay, tell me, identification.
Use software to mass spectrometry.
Principal components in mass spec. You have to know. Ionization. What other ionization method use? Okay, then next what happens? And method separation, okay?
Two times.
Yeah, 2 times separation. What happens in the middle? Before it becomes product ion?
Collision.
Collision use the expression apa? Collision. Okay. And then? So what is it?
Mass spectrum.
Graph, I don't know what graph. Okay, mass spectrum. And then now, again, in two-gel approach, two-gel proteomic approach, what are the important criteria that should be there to perform, the principal procedure of gel-based proteomic approach?
By using separating by PI.
Oh, protein to do? Yeah, protein I showed you. Jealous. For differential protein analysis. First one was what? Run what? After protein what you run what? Run what? Yeah. Why is within for differential diameter? You should run two-dimensional equation. And then after you run you stand and then you put the spot. What you do? What is spot that you want to pop out which is significantly upregulated and downregulated? And then after that, no, yeah. After the analysis, you have to pop out the gel first or spot in. And then you do the digestion, gelation. And then after that, you inject into the mass spectrometry. And then you get the protein ID. Tired already, a lot of minutes. So make sure you all remember all of this. Okay?
Okay.
For Delphi, I leave it to you to find your information. Okay? So almost A to B. Okay? Any question that you think that you need more explanation from? So,
Not yet, maybe.
not yet. So I think that's all. Okay, we end. How you want me to continue again with the tutorial or you want to stop here?
Stop here.
Tired already. Okay. So it's okay. We just I will see you next week for the practical section. Okay? So you will learn more about the protein ID. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So there is example. You get the fast and then you want to
Get a bit fast?
so after I spend time to spend time I love the how do I know this one is what?
For propagation, we can assume. I also don't know. This one belongs to this one. But what I say is that we need to import the data and can do the database within the software. The software is like this mascot session thing like this. Something like this. A result. That means this is the result from the protein identification. The oh, this one is your data. Yes. You do the database like this. Before you get this, you have to perform search. Perform search. So you need to enter your whatever modification and all that. And then you can start search. So the file that you want to here is let's say your file here. Something like you can put your file here in our from this Let me try. Want to know okay, this one right. So actually, all because we already want to show that so this mascot actually the competition has already made their theoretical measure. And that's based on why so when we ask, we give the upload file into this one house. They will ask what is the original. Oh, the red one is yes. So they make the database. So here when you click here, okay. This is your copy.
See.
So this is the part that
No, physical. No, online.
The algorithm is very strong. Actually, there's no human interpretation. So before this, so the algorithm seems to say and the library.